So what we're discussing here is that all of these conditions, they are what? Lifestyle diseases, lifestyle conditions. And the great news is that they are 100% reversible. They can be reversed. And so by our choices that we make, we can put ourselves in the right direction to turn around our health situation and no longer be diagnosed with it. So let us show you how. Look at this picture. Here you have lifestyle and genetics equal chronic health condition, and lifestyle that includes with your diet and genetics. You know, you may have heard the term before saying that genetics, that our genes is like holding a loaded gun, and lifestyle and diet can pull the trigger. Yes. So how do you move from here? I mean, you're born baby, happy, smiley baby, and not having any issues, but over the years, you end up with chronic conditions. And then if we wanted to change that around, we have our lifestyle diet, the genetics, yes, but we can make the choices daily to improve our health outcome. And this is what we want to do, share with you how you can make the changes and improve this. And this is not just about obesity, but just loaded with, disease conditions and how you can improve that. So it's all about going in the correct direction. Some of us may be in the opposite end, heading to the way in which you would be loaded with inflammation, obesity, pain, joints in the pain, arthritic situations, and, or poor sleep and so forth. If we're doing things that puts us in the wrong direction, then it's not going towards health. I'll say this now and I'd say it again, that whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, whatever you do, let it all be pointing towards health. Choices. I went into the supermarket 2 days ago and I walked the aisles and I looked at all the biscuits on the shelves and I watched and I turned away and I said, no, because I know that when you eat it, what can happen to the body? And so that's what I'm saying. Choices, discipline, self-control, and choose to do something different, and they're always the healthier options. So nutrition and our environment. I want to also include in your environment, which is what we would be looking at those areas here, that it also includes the drug medication. Unfortunately, all drugs have side effects, and not side effects to make you happy. They have side effects that can cause pain, that can cause new disease conditions, that can manipulate and disrupt the body's normal function. And so we need to be mindful of that. Here we have a tree. I just want to draw an analogy. That the trees out there, and not all of them were planted by the Lord. There were some that were planted by the enemy. And so in this particular tree, it actually has the wrong diet, the wrong lifestyle, the wrong type of environment, drug medication, and that is yielding fruits of disease. You go live and dwell like this tree, and it turned out that you have chronic heart disease, you got stroke, obesity, diabetes, cancer, asthma, constipation, very much like that chart we showed earlier. Yes. So in spite of that chart, people having COVID and then all these other conditions, what we're going to look at here is how do we get a different tree to possess that would not give us these chronic health conditions. So let us change it, So let's look, those were diseases. So a definition for diseases, disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from the violation of the laws of health. And so what are those laws of health that can be violated, that the body is struggling to find balance again? And we're told that pure air, nice, healthy, fresh air, sunlight, abstemiousness, or a more common word for that will be temperance or balance. Moderation, yeah. So rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. These are the true remedies. And so when these things are, or all of these points are sort of like placed well within the life and observed well, we find that they are remedies. So let's look at the keys for getting these remedies. Now, there is also another tree that I want to introduce to you first. And you see that tree? This is where we want to get to. And so instead of having that blue tree with all of those disease conditions, we want to be able to change our lives so that we have instead peace and joy and happiness, cheerfulness, energy, sharp memory, not being forgetful. This is where we want to be. So we need to make some changes, but we're just told that the true remedies to get to this point lies within those laws of health. So let's look at the pure air, and we're only looking at what we can do in order to achieve that pure air and to possess it in our bodies and to make it applicable for better health. So meaning that I'm not going to be talking about all the ills that shows up with polluted air, impure air. So pure air, you want to be able to breathe deep, pure air. If you are sitting now or standing, just lift your hands up high to touch the ceiling. Lift your hands up high to touch the ceiling. And if you try to take a deep breath, with your hands lifted up high like this, just straight up, and take a deep breath. Hold it, and then let it go. Now, if you can do that a couple times, let's do it one more time. I want you to feel this experience, okay? So put your hand up. Let me see if I can show you. So yeah. You put your hand up like this, up, and as high as you can, and then you breathe in deep. Hold, okay, and then you let out, good. So what is happening there? You've actually stretched the diaphragm and allowed more air to get inside. It feels very different from you just sitting and standing and thinking you're breathing deep, okay? So to do the deep breathing every day, do like 10 of those deep breaths and take a break, then you can do more. The more you do, the more beneficial it is. And you know what? Deep breathing, as simple as that is and available to everyone, can lower your blood pressure. So if you're one that has high blood pressure, deep breathing can lower your blood pressure. So the next point, see the windows nearby you, open them. In the daytime, open your windows, open your door, pull the curtains on the side, yes, and let the air come into the home. You want to exchange the old stale air out and bring the new fresh air in. And when you do that, you'll get more clean air in the home. not only in the day, but at nighttime, leave a window in your sleeping room open, at least an inch, just a little bit. If you don't want to have it all the way open, for some reason you cannot have it all the way open, but have a window open at least an inch, and it's going to bring in fresh air all the time while you sleep. It will help you to get good amount of oxygen, and oxygenated blood will take nutrients to your cells. Oxygenated blood will be able to move your blood around in the night when you're sleeping and your body is repairing your cells, and to help to re-energize, rejuvenate you while you sleep. Individuals who do this when they're sleeping report that they always get sound, refreshing sleep. Now, keeping plants in the home is a good idea. You see those green plants, house plants in the home? As you have them there, they help to purify the air quality. So there might be dust, there might be, substances, gaseous substance from materials, cupboards, paints, and so forth. And the plants can help to clean that up. Have a clean kitchen, clean garbage, don't have garbage piled up inside of the home. Empty that out at nighttime. Have a bin outside if you must, but put that out at night rather than in the morning, especially if you have wet items or pieces of food material and so forth. That will begin to rot, and you don't want that to pollute the air atmosphere. Keep your surroundings clean. Keep sweeping, scrubbing, cutting the grass low, and keep your surroundings sweet and clean. Then spend lots of time outdoors. You put yourself outdoors, and that is going to be very healthful to you. Okay, it will give you a pleasant peace of mind. You will feel that cool breeze on your face. It's quite relaxing, taking away stress and anxiety and depression, especially if it's sunny outside. Spend lots of time outdoors. Another law of health that we're looking at is sunlight. And sunlight actually helps you that you are able to have vitamin D within the body. And vitamin D is hugely important, as every cell in your body has a receptor site for vitamin D. So having sunlight exposure between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. will help you to be able to make vitamin D. The darker your complexion is, the more sunlight you need. Those who are light-skinned individuals, Caucasians, they need like 7 minutes and going up, 10, 15 minutes going up, depending on the amount of melanin we have on our skin. Melanin is actually a natural sunscreen, and melanin helps to protect you from the harsh rays of the sun. However, the more melanin we have, the longer we need to spend in the sun in order for our bodies to be able to get the quality of sunlight that we need to help us. So the further you live away from the equator, the more issues you have. But the Bahamas is low down here, and so we are able to get good quality sunlight. So between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. in our hemisphere are good times to be outdoors in the sun. I like morning because you get cool breezes in the morning hours. So unfortunately, there are a lot of folks who are vitamin D deficient, and individuals such as those who are elderly. So if you are 70 years and above, you can be out in the sun, but you're not going to be making as much vitamin D as someone who is younger. Only about 75% of what you would have made when you were younger. So if you're over 70 years of age, vitamin D deficiency might be an issue for you. So you do still spend time in the sun, but you may need to look at a supplement. Vitamin D deficiency with the elderly is a cause for a lot of falls when individuals fall down and they injure themselves and they can break their bones because their calcium is low because they don't have enough vitamin D in their body. So another is that the darker skin, you need to spend more time. And also if you have more weight, so the more weight you have, the fat cells grab up the vitamin D and then the rest of your body don't get. So your brain needs vitamin D, your bones essentially, your teeth, your, everywhere else need. And those who have diabetes, cardiovascular, heart disease, leaky gut, or if you have, say, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, bowel issues, digestive issues, vitamin D can help with that. But then, if you do have those conditions, it can decrease your production and availability of vitamin D in your body. It also creates a higher demand for vitamin D because those conditions need vitamin D to help you to be able to function well. I just also want to share with you that when it comes to the COVID, that vitamin D has been shown to cause to be able to help with COVID situations so that the individuals would overcome that virus, spend less days in hospitals. What it actually does, it prevents the virus from entering into your cells, setting up shop and multiplying itself. So the vitamin D can actually cause the virus to die, because if it does not get to a host, then it's going to just, disintegrate. And this is what it looks like. Say the spike protein starts to look for an ACE2 receptor cell. And if you have sufficient vitamin D and zinc in your blood, look at this line, it can cut and prevent the spike protein. So this is the spike protein. It can prevent that spike protein from attaching to your cells. And that is hugely beneficial in the times in which we are at. So make sure that you get out into the sun, spend time in the sun. And when you do so, it will be beneficial for you. So children, the elderly, big, young, folks, everybody need to do some activity outdoors. And, so here, one professor actually said vitamin D is superior and far more important to the human body than even vitamin C. So another point to consider is temperance. You see, we want to stop the use of caffeine, tea, coffee, cocoa, chocolate, Milo, Ovaltine, all of those has caffeine-like items, theobromine in the chocolate family, and they are cousin to caffeine. And it actually helps, causes a lot of issues with our central nervous system. It tends to constrict the blood vessels. They also can, cause cancer, put us at more risk for getting cancer. So the chocolate and the caffeine, be it in even the tea, red tea, white tea, chai tea, black tea, all of those caffeine items, energy drinks like the Red Bull and the Monster and so forth, energy drinks, we want to remove that from consumption. Tobacco, alcohol, these things tend to derange the normal physiology of the body and put us at risk for poor health. Now, when it comes to the food, let's take our time and have our meals. Chew your food thoroughly. Don't labor yourself to try to count 32 times to chew your food. It's a good idea, but Chew your food thoroughly. Let what you are swallowing be all broken down. I tell folks there's no teeth in the stomach. It's all in the mouth. So take your time and chew. And the next point says, do not eat and drink at the same time. So you don't want to have a big glass of water, juice, or whatever it might be, and your plate of food. When you consume them at the same time, you're making a soup in your stomach. You're going to have to say to that food, wait a minute, let me first absorb this liquid and then come back for you, solid food. Solid food is going to begin to ferment, and that is a cause for a lot of indigestion, bloating, acid reflux, heartburn. And you want to know why? Because we're eating and drinking at the same time. So let's stop that habit. Next, space out your meals at least 5 hours apart. You want to be able to have 5 hours from one meal, the end of one meal, to the beginning of the other. That will give you sufficient time to eat your food, digest your food, and be able to get ready for the next meal. So for example, your breakfast can be in the morning between 6 and 7 a.m. Your lunch can be when? So if we do 6 and 7 a.m. for breakfast, let's count after 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. On the 5th hour, 12, you can have lunch between 12 and 1 p.m. And then you come again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have your supper meal at 6 p.m. between 6 and 6:30. And that's how you do have your set time for your meals. No snacking of food or fruit of any kind in between your meals. All you can have in between your meals would be water, or if it is some herbal tea to reduce your high blood pressure, like bay leaf, or if you're using some other tea to reduce your blood sugar, maybe cinnamon or Karaili or something. Now, we want to look at rest. It is important that we go to sleep before 10 p.m. at night. When you do that, you give your body good timing in order for the cells to be repaired. You want to sleep in a cool room. You want to sleep with your window open at least an inch. You want to sleep in a dark room. So get those curtains pulled in, blackout curtains, whatever you do. Put up a sheet, block it out, make it dark and cozy. And then you want to be able to rest on the 7th day of the week. On the 7th day of the week is the best day to rest because the body naturally slows down at the end of the week. And so it's the time when the cells are looking to repair. Every 7 days, the body is going to repair, the body is going to rejuvenate. And it happens on the 7th day, so it makes sense to calm down and allow to get the benefit from that. So sleep is hugely important. Individuals who go to bed after 10 p.m. tend to have more asthma, allergies, their blood pressure goes up, their blood sugar is high, and they run into issues. Inflammation is increased, and we want to keep inflammation down in a COVID time. What about exercise? Did you walk today? Did you walk enough today? So walking is like the best form of exercise. Brisk walking for at least 1 continuous hour for a diabetic can be equivalent to as much as 20 units of insulin. So right away you find that a diabetic will have a reduced need for insulin or even the medication once they begin a program of walking. You can literally walk your way out of diabetes. Walking helps to reduce the blood pressure because your walking helps, and even better yet, if in the sunlight, to produce nitric oxide. That relaxes your blood vessels and allows your blood to flow through. So as you walk, one bout, I want to let you know that one bout of exercise, one bout of walking does good to your system for the next 24 hours. Furthermore, if you were doing this every day, you would just be improving on your health. One point for the diabetic is that when you go walking, this is hugely important. You do not go alone. You always take a fruit with you. So carry a banana or an apple or a peeled orange. Take a fruit with you, because as you walk and you go out there, you will find that your blood sugar is going to be reduced, and you want to be able to make it back home safely. So if you feel lightheaded, tingling sensation in your fingers, your legs, and so forth, you know your blood sugar is lowering, and you can take that fruit to make sure that your glucose levels is up and you're able to keep standing. So it's better to walk outdoors in the open air. And one more, when you eat your food, at least take a casual stroll for 15 minutes after each meal. So 15 minutes after the meal. So if you look at the benefits between walking and running and walking, it is reduced. But walking will always do better for high blood pressure and for reducing high cholesterol. Running versus walking. Walking is doing better. Reducing diabetes, running versus walking. Walking does better. And to reduce your cardiovascular health disease on a whole, walking is better. So the research studies show that walking is always better for these health challenges and conditions. Looking at our diet, we want to be able to eat a healthy diet. No flesh foods and their byproducts. And we'll go a little bit more in the diet aspect, but we also want to have a total plant-based diet. So here is we talk about true remedies. Here is the secret that our diet needs to be a total plant-based and not flesh foods. They come with the ills, they come with the cholesterol, they come with the disease in them already to help build tumors in our bodies like fibroids and cancers. And so we want to leave the flesh foods out and instead use the plants, these foods that God has prepared for us. Your salt should have iodine in it. So look for a salt that has iodine that's naturally occurring. So an all natural sea salt will be good. You may see pink Himalayan out there, so that's a better option to have. And then iodine helps to manage your energy levels, your metabolism, and every cell in your body needs thyroid hormone, and iodine helps to feed your thyroid. But another one, we want to watch the kind of condiments that we're using. You see the ketchup, the mustard, the mayonnaise, veggies, and so forth, they have vinegar in them. And vinegar can cause you to be anemic. Vinegar can cause your calcium to be depleted from your bones. And then you have osteoporosis, you have arthritis, you're breaking easily. So vinegar can also cause your dental enamel to be eroded and cause tooth decay from inside out. So you want to be able to use to not consume vinegar, and watch the ingredients in your ketchup and your mustard and your salad dressings. If it has vinegar in it, leave it out. What do? So we cook onions and garlic or sea salt. We cook, you can use tomato paste, and then you add your seasonings to that. It doesn't have the vinegar in it. Hot peppers should not be part of our diet. Spices, those things tend to harm your nerves systems. They also tend to harm your stomach and cause problems. And then we talked about eat nothing in between your meal times. Water. So water is, freely made available to all. And you want to be able to drink plain water until your urine is pale yellow to clear. Just drink lots of water every day. You want to drink it mouthfuls at a time, 2 to 3 mouthfuls of water. Your cells will absorb and you would be quite hydrated. Every area of your body needs water. Your brain, your bones, your joints, they need water. And your eyes need water to help with your vision, and so that it would not be your body, your muscles, aches and pains, it needs water. So you want to drink plain water. Don't put fruits and other items in there. We want to also drink water that is not alkaline. Rather, you want a water with a pH that is less than 7, closer to 6. That's a more natural one, closer to rainwater that God has provided to us, and quite healthy. When in the morning, a good practice is when you wake up to hydrate, you want to take an internal shower, and you can do that with 2 to 4 glasses of warm water, very warm water. You mix it with a kettle and you get warm water. You can feel the warmth going down your stomach. 2 to 4 glasses of warm water early in the morning. Then you want to be able to drink water in between your meals, but you stop when it is like about 15 minutes before you begin to have your meal time. So like we mentioned, say breakfast between 6 and 7 a.m., like 5:45, you stop drinking water. You don't want to have it too close to your meal time because it can dilute your gastric juices. If you have stomach issues, then you give a little longer time spacing, like about 30 minutes before you're ready to eat, because your stomach is weakened and challenged. But then when you eat your food, you want to be able to drink water 2 hours after you finish eating. Okay, so that's 2 hours after you're finished eating. And the last remedy is trust in divine power. So here it talks about trusting in our Father, our Creator, and we want to be able to put all our cares and worries on Him and not to worry, do not fret, and do not complain. Not only to keep your stress levels down, but do you know that God do not like people to complain? He doesn't like to hear it. Why complain? You know, there's a song long time you used to sing. Why complain about your clothes and your shoes? All right, so don't complain. Just be thankful for the good things that you got. And even if you don't see the good, just still be thankful you're alive. That is good. So let us not complain. God don't like people to murmur and complain. He detests it. So we want to please Him. We want to honor Him, because when we do that, it's because we're not giving things over to Him and allowing Him to take control and allowing Him to bless us and to, provide. Then another thing is forgive others as you would like to be forgiven. So in order for us to move on with life, we need to let go of the past and move forward. Forgiveness is hugely important, and many people are falling sick, even getting some of these lifestyle conditions because of unforgiveness. So that is huge, and that is important for us to be able to look in our lives, see if there's any place where we have remorse, guilt, worry, fear. Put aside those things. Go to God and ask Him for forgiveness, and then you in turn forgive others. Now, when these principles are applied, what do you think? You're becoming into a brand new you. And it is as simple as this. It's not no big complicated thing. Life has order. You see the sun coming up every day and going down. And there's order in everything that God has created. And He has created our bodies to function in a specific manner. What happens is when we do the opposite, when instead of going to bed before 10 p.m., we find ourselves going up to bed like 12 and 1 o'clock. you're going to stress out the body. You're going to challenge, yourself and cause sickness and disease. So all the opposite things of these simple recommendations can cause problems. So instead, let us choose today to be healthy, choose today to make a turnaround in our lives, put these principles into practice. And by God's grace, we would be able to live and lead healthier lives for Him, and also to be free from the sickness and disease. And instead, He's promised us that we will abound in good health, and we have no aches and pains. We'll have no diseases among us. Exodus 15:26. So may the Lord continue to richly bless you. Yeah, I'm not sure if we have time for questions.
Well, do you have time for questions?